Good day, everyone. Today I'll be sharing with you an experience of a job interview I once attended. It was this job interview for the role of an accountant, whereby I'll be reporting to the CFO. So I'll be sharing with you the questions I was asked, the ones I got right and the ones I didn't get right. Before I move to the questions aspect, let me just mention some other tips. So, actually dressed corporate, I wore a shirt and a blazer, and I wore a corporate trouser, and I wore heels, and I was kind of woman review and fixing. I just packed it to the back. So I just wanted to mention the appearance aspect of it. I think I did a little makeup. Yeah. So now moving to the questions. Here are the questions that was asked. I think I was asked if I'm a chartered accountant. Also, I was asked what school I graduated from. I answered that I'm a chartered accountant, and I observed that raised the expectation of how I ought to perform during the job interview, and it raised the expectation of how I ought to perform on the job itself. Then I was also then the question of what school I graduated from, I answered them, which was Brown University, private school. I observed that one of the members of the interview panel had a negative perception of private school, but I was quick to defend my degree with confidence. I didn't allow his negative perception to destabilize me or make me lose my confidence. That's just that. Now, the other questions that was asked, I wrote some of them down here. Okay, I was asked what are the things I would consider preparing a financial projection for a company. I'm just some of the answers that I could remember at that time. I mentioned I'll consider the current and the past financial status of the company, of which I'm referring to the management report of the company for the current period and the past periods. Also, I'll consider the current projects the company is handling, future projects that the company intends to handle, and whatever period I'm putting in mind the period that the financial projection would cover. I will consider the sources of finance to the company at the moment, and whatever sort of finance the company is planning to take on in the future. I'll consider the present economic situations, of which that would include the current CBN prevailing interest rate, inflation rate, exchange rate, as at now and for the period that the financial projection would cover. I think these are some things I mentioned I can remember at that time. The other question that was asked, have I been in a situation whereby I have a stock reconciliation issue, or whereby I have a reconciliation issue with a customer or a vendor in terms of their account? Probably this. So I think they kind of painted the scenario. They asked me to paint a scenario, kind of. I think I was the one who shared one of my experience with them. I've had several instances whereby maybe the vendor will be claiming that we are owing them, or a customer will be claiming that they still have some products, whereas the customer is not owing us. So I've had different situations whereby there's some reconciliations issue with a customer's ledger or a vendor's ledger, and I've been able to actually resolve it, be able to pick out the issue whereby we've had times whereby the vendor was the one who refunded the company, or probably we supplied the products to the customer above what the customer paid for, and we're able to do some justice to that with proper communication skills and me putting my books in record. So this was the way I answered the question. I painted the scenario whereby it was with a customer. Probably we supplied the product to the customer above what the customer paid for. So if I want to really know what really happened and who paid excess or less here, I'll go back to my source document. The sales order form, the inventory control form itself that comes from the depot, from the field workers. Also, the Excel sheet that I do compute. Yes, there's a sheet, an inventory control form whereby I keep, the inventory control record I keep on Excel. So I'll go back to the sales order form. Also, from the point whereby that sale was initiated, I'll check my records that I posted into the account software. I'll check my bank statement to see all the customers' payments for that particular order. So the thing is, my target here is to get my posting in the accounting software correct. Whatsoever result the accounting software produces, that's going to be my basis of judgment. So I'll just make sure that I have the correct information. I review all my information from the field workers, because they are the ones giving the source data, because they are the ones that relate directly to the customers in terms of giving them the product. Then also I will make sure that I get my banks, I make sure that I fish out all the payments from that customer. I post all the payments correctly into my account software. I post all the sales correctly, the exact date and all into my account software. So the account software as a default, for a customer's ledger, by default it should be a debit balance if the customer is owing you. So if it's showing a debit balance after I've done all my proper findings and review, it's showing a debit, it means that the customer is the one owing the company, and it's showing a credit, it means that the company is the one owing. Probably we receive more than we gave to the product. We receive more funds than the product actually supplied. And if it doesn't show a debit balance or a credit balance, it means that nobody is owing anybody. Because money didn't overpay, everything is actually at par. So it's just a matter of me by mail, I'll forward that bank statement, ticking out all those places that shows the customer's payments. Or probably if we even got received from the customer, we send those attachments in the mail. I'll show them my sheet, whereby it shows all their sales and all their payment. And by default, the Excel sheet or whatever I export from my account software will show the answer in that mail, and then just communicate. I've had that issue severally, so that was my answer to that. Now I tell you that I'm correct. That's the way to go about that. So now I know what's right. So another question was this. Okay, hey. So I said that one. That's what to get about that one. That's the correct answer. Then this one I'm about to share now. This was just my response. I don't know if I was correct or no, but this was just my response. This was what I would think of at that moment. This particular one I'm about to share now. So they asked me as a chartered accountant, what internal control can I put in place to avoid this kind of stock restoration issue whereby a customer receives more product, because the company that was actually interviewing me has had that issue, such that they're looking for hundreds of millions. They supplied more product to a customer than what the customer actually paid for. So like, what internal control procedure can I put in place to avoid such issues? I'm not sure my answer was correct, but what I said was the company should engage an external party that will be independent. It will be independent of the depot reps, because sometimes depot reps, field workers, they can have some kind of funny games with customers and vendors to get some gains. So you get an external party who will be independent of the depot reps and will be independent of the company itself, who can actually monitor the receipts of sales of customers, customers receiving products, who can monitor the loading of product, whereby it ensures that a customer is only loading the quantity for which he has paid for. So an expert knows what to do around all that. So that was my answer. I don't know if you were satisfied or not. Now, this particular question was what almost made me lose the job. This one I'm moving to now. They're just about 2 more questions. Okay. I was asked a question about weight. So I can't really remember the question very well, but I think this is the way it went. Let me use an example here. So I think I was asked if this bottle is filled up with water, and let's say for example this bottle weighs 1 kg, and the same quantity of water is poured into this place. I think I was asked which one is weightier. The same amount of water here is poured here. This one weighs 1 kg, for example, and this same amount of water is poured into this. Which one is weightier, or which one is heavier? So when I was answering the question, literally, like I was thinking of it that if I should hold this would be heavier, because this is big and just as a little content, it will be lighter in my hand. So I felt this will be lighter and this will be heavier. So they kept on telling me, calm down and think. But I kept on insisting my ground that the fact that this is big and the water content of it is low, it's not going to be heavy in manner. This will be heavier to hold because it is full. So at the end of the day, the question was that they are the same kg. If this is 1 kg and you pour this will also be 1 kg, because they are after what is the weight of the contents. So if you place this on a scale, place on the scale, whereby you put the same quantity of water in this bottle into this place, it's going to be the same kg. So I was to think about it in terms of mathematics, But I was thinking about it that probably if I should hold them together, this might seems to be waiting in my hand. But I was thinking about in terms of maths. Which one has more kgs? What we're asking. Which is weight in terms of what is the kg, what is going to be the grams. If the grams is not more, that means they have the same weight. No one is heavier in mathematical terms. That was it. So before that, I already got the answer. So there were those at the point where those who told me that no, that the answer is that it will be the same thing. But I was still arguing. So it was almost at the end of the interview, I felt, oh yeah, you're actually right. So it really made me so. I think one thing that just asked me in the interview for that job. Okay, I actually got the job. One thing that was that there was a test where, okay, I think I was asked to rate myself in Excel. Yes, I think I mentioned average, or whether it was a skill. I remember I mentioned 7. I can't remember, but I still had the kind of good rating for Excel. So after the interview, I was told that I would be given a test whereby, and that test was a financial projection. They had started in some figures, and I was just to fill in some gap. But that filling in some gap was not just like filling in some gap. I had to really sit down and think. So when the dialogue was going, after I went home and I got feedback, before I got feedback, I think I was told that I think some of them didn't want me because they felt that I was arguing and they felt I didn't actually calm down. But I think it's just about 2 people that stood for me. So one thing that I was doing for that job is that I prayed. Then out of all the people that wrote that Excel test, I was one that got about 99%. So I would only say 100%, but the one was given for my, I was given 99%. So I was the one that got that question. So it was a financial projection and Excel. So I needed the knowledge of Excel, and I needed the knowledge of finance and accounting to try to carry out that task. So that task. So at first when I saw the question on Excel, how I approached it, I just calmed down because I was confused at first. And there's sometimes that I never come across, I just came across. So the thing is that the company deals with the production of products of oil in large quantity, whereby we put them at the depot, and there's this thing called throughput that is paid to the depot periodically based on when, following the period that oil is in that tank. So once the oil has gotten exhausted in the tank, we no longer pay throughput. So for the period that the oil is in that tank at the depot, we'll be paying that throughput. So that time I didn't know anything called throughput. So I was not familiar with some of the things I was seeing there. So I just calmed down. I just answered some of them the way my head would process it. Then I calmed it down again. I went through the whole thing and I was able to see some areas where I was wrong and I just corrected it. I think it was given to me about maybe just 5 minutes or 10 minutes. I think I was given about 5 to 10 minutes. So I think it was that test that actually helped me. So if you actually want that question, especially if you're in finance and accounting, if you come across search, I could actually share. You can just drop it and drop a comment in the comment box. I'll share the question with you and I'll share my answer. I still have that answer that question on my system at the office. So one thing I have to say is that try to calm down, try to really think, because that was the thing that really almost made me lose the job. The fact that I was arguing and I was praying, and I think with the prayer and the test that I did on it and the Excel that actually saved me. So that's that. Thank you.